Good afternoon. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Replays. That's SDG Replays. It's been a while since I've created anything and put anything out. For the past, I guess almost 6 years, I've been you would call semi-retired. I've done some contract work and I've done some work for my church and led short-term missions teams. But recently, just for purposes that my wife and I discussed, I have went back to work. I am working full-time again. And so I haven't put anything out lately because I was just getting into the rhythm and the routine of the working world again. And I think I've got that settled now, but I want to continue putting out some content. And that content I began about a month or so back. I wanted to play the 1956 baseball season, the Major League Baseball season, using 3 different computer simulations and just seeing how they played out. And that would be using Action PC, PC Replay, and Digital Diamond. Digital Diamond, it's going to be a month or so before I pick up with that, because in my haste to autoplay a month or the rest of the month, I double-clicked and I not only autoplayed the rest of the month, but the following month after it. So Digital Diamond is ahead, and we will pick it up when Action PC and PC Replay catch up. But that is what we're going to do today. Today's matchup is going to be against a Kansas City Athletics team and the Boston Red Sox. The Athletics, as I will give you the details when I get into the game, are cellar dwelling. They're pulling up the rear in the league, and the Red Sox are red hot at the top of the league, starting out early in this season at 8-2. So, and I believe the Athletics are something like 4-7, but we'll look at that when I get into the game. So that's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be using PC Replay this afternoon. And if I am feeling good, I may pick up another game this afternoon and play some Action PC. I'm enjoying seeing how this plays out, and I hope you will as well. Join me as we play. Okay, here we are in our matchup between the Kansas City Athletics and the Boston Red Sox. You can see I was wrong. I gave Kansas City 2 wins that they haven't got yet. They've lost 6 in a row. They're at 2-8 against the 8-2 Boston Red Sox. On the mound for the Athletics will be Art Dittmer, who has started 2 games, and he's 1-1 in those 2 games with a 3.86 ERA and a 1.22 WHIP. So not doing too poorly. Not great, but not terrible. But he's facing Tom Brewer, who has been lights out in his 2 games. He's 2-0 with an ERA of 1.02, but with a 1.53 WHIP. That's interesting. You'll see that I am going to be playing as the Athletics. I'll let the PC Replay system make all the calls for the Red Sox. So let's look at our lineups while we're in this screen. For the Athletics, you have leading off playing first base, Vic Power. Batting second in center field, Hector Lopez. Batting third in left field, Gus Zernial. Batting fourth in right field, Harry Simpson. Batting fifth at third base, Jim Finnegan. Batting sixth, catching, Joe Ginsberg. Batting seventh at shortstop, Joe DeMaestri. Batting eighth at second base, Spook Jacobs. And your pitcher, Art Dittmer, batting ninth. For the Red Sox, the 8-2 Red Sox, leading off and playing second base is Billy Goodman. At third base, batting second, Frank Malzone. Batting in the third spot, first baseman Mickey Vernon. Batting in the cleanup spot in right field, Jackie Jensen. And in left field, batting fifth, Dick Gernert. In the sixth spot, playing center field, Jim Pearsall. In the seventh spot, shortstop, Don Budding. And in the eighth spot, your catcher, Sammy White. And your pitcher in the ninth spot, Tom Brewer. So there's our lineups. Let's get into the game.
Play Radio is live from Boston. Top of the first.
From Boston, Fenway. Again, pitching for the Boston Red Sox, Tom Brewer. In the 56th season, he had a 3.50 ERA with a 19-9 win-loss record with a 1.28 whip. In this replay, he's at 1.02 ERA with a 1.53 whip. Leading off again for the Athletics, Vic Power, batting .205 in this replay. In the 56th season, he batted .309 as he comes up to the plate. Brewer toes the rubber, gets the signal from White, and here is the pitch. Ground ball hit to short. Up with it is Budden. Over to first. Out number one.
One out, bases empty.
On the 6-3 put out. That'll bring up Hector Lopez. Batted .273 in 1956. In this replay, he's batting .391 with an RBI. 9 hits out of 23 plate appearances. Brewer gets the signal from White, goes into his windup, and here is the pitch. Struck him out with the Parmesan pellet. Out number out number two. 2 up and 2 down. First strikeout for Brewer.
2 outs, bases empty.
As Gus Zernial comes to the plate. Zernial batted .224 in 1956. He's batting .344 in this replay with 4 home runs. So he's swinging a big bat at the moment. Seems like that would cool. Brewer toes the rubber as Zernial digs in. Here is the pitch. And he hits a single into center field as he hits one sharply up the middle. Drops in front of Pearsall in center field, so that's a 2-out single by Zernial, who continues his hot hitting.
2 outs, men on first.
That'll bring Harry Simpson to the plate. Simpson batted .293 in 56. He's batting .270 so far in this replay. Zernial takes a slight lead off of first as Brewer gets the signal, goes into his windup, and the pitch. And he walks him. A little too high as he threw the high heat. Ball 4, and Simpson takes the free pass. So now with 2 outs, we have runners on first and second. Zernial on second, Simpson on first.
2 outs, men on first and second.
And Finnegan coming to the plate. That would be Jim Finnegan, who batted .216 in 1956, batting .286 in this replay. Brewer looking to bear down and get Finnegan as Finnegan digs in. Here is the pitch. And it's hit sharply to short, and it's a leaping catch by Budden, who stabs the line drive out of the air for out number 3.
Bottom of the first.
2 left on with a walk and a hit. And no runs coming across as we go to the bottom of the first. And Billy Goodman coming to the plate, and on the mound for the Athletics, Art Dittmer. Dittmer Again, with a 4.42 ERA in 1956, with a 12-22 record and a 142 WHIP. In this replay, a little bit better, 3.86 ERA with a 1.22 WHIP and a 1-1 record. Coming to the plate, Billy Goodman, who batted .293 in 1956. He's batting .385 in this replay with a home run and 5 RBIs. Dittmer gets the signal from Ginsburg, shakes his head, nods, and brings the pitch as Goodman steps in. And it's a short fly ball, center field. Lopez settles underneath it for out number 1 on the F8 put out. And that'll bring Frank Malzone to the plate. Malzone batted .165 in 1956. He's yet to get a hit so far in this season, and I don't know why he's still in the lineup. He's 0 for 15 in his plate appearances. He struck out once and he's walked 4 times. You would think he'd have to come out of this slump as Dittmer licks his chops looking at the struggling Malzone. Gets the signal. Here's the pitch to Malzone. And it's a ground ball to third. Finnegan up with it. Over to first for the 5-3 put out. And Malzone's woes continue as he goes back to the dugout, shaking his head as he's still over on the season. And that'll bring up Mickey Vernon to the plate. Mickey Vernon batted .310 in 1956. He's batting .359 in this replay with a home run and 9 RBIs. He has walked 7 times and struck out 5. Art Dittmer looking at Vernon. Gets a signal from Ginsburg. Here is the pitch. And Vernon, it will be a rare play check. And it will be a rare play. So what we got going on here? It's a looping drive to left field. We're going to roll against Emily's defense. Zernal's, defensive rating. 1 to 3, it's an out. 4, 5, and 6, it's a hit. And it is a hit. It ends up being a triple as it gets past Zernal, who cannot range over to it. Gets into the corner, and Vernon finds himself safely at third with a 2-out triple.
2 outs,
and we have a runner now in scoring position. And the hard-hitting Jackie Jensen coming to the plate, who batted .315 with 20 home runs in 1956. He's batting .364 early in this season with 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. Dittmer glances over at Vernon on third. Gets the signal from Ginsburg as Jensen digs in. Dittmer goes into the windup and the pitch. It's a deep fly ball left field. Going back is Zernal, but it's not deep enough as it's a routine fly ball, F7 put out. And we leave a runner stranded. Mickey Vernon's triple cannot be capitalized as we go to the second, scoreless here in Boston. And that'll bring to the plate Joe Ginsburg, the catcher. Batted .224 in 1956. He's batting below the Mendoza line at .185 so far in this season with a home run and 3 RBIs. Brewer gets the signal from White. As Ginsburg steps in, he digs in. Here is the pitch. And it's a ground ball to second. Goodman up with it over to Vernon at first for the 4-3 put out.
1 out,
out number
empty.
1. That'll bring up Joe DeMaestri. DeMaestri batted .233 in 1956 with 6 home runs. In this replay, he's batting .227 with 2 home runs already in 22 plate appearances, so he's about dried up his home run chances. As DeMaestri steps in, Brewer gets this call and this from White. nods his head in agreement and brings the pitch as DeMaestri steps in. And the pitch is on its way. And it's a line drive right at Budden at second. It is the second leaping catch by Budden at short.
2 outs,
Route
base
number
is
2.
empty.
That'll bring up Spook Jacobs. He batted .201 in 1956. He's batting .143 here in the replay. He's 5 for 35. As Jacobs steps in, Brewer toes the rubber, goes to the belt, goes into his windup, and here is the pitch. Short fly ball,
It's
left
1-2-3
field.
inning.
Dick Gernert steps into it, strides over a couple steps to his left, makes the play for out number 3, 3 up, 3 down.
Bottom of the second.
Here in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless here in Fenway, Boston. Dick Gernert coming to the plate. Gernert batted .291 in 1956 with 16 home runs. He's batting .333 here in the replay. He's 8 for 24 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. Dittmer goes to the rubber. Kicks and deals. Gernert stepping in. And he hits one long. He hits one deep. And it is gone over the outfield wall. That roll of 6.62 did end Ditmar, as that's a home run by Dick Gernert. And we have our first score of the game. It's now 1-0 Boston on the bomb by Dick Gernert.
No outs, base is empty.
As Gernert's going to the dugout, he gets high fives from Jim Persall. As Pearsall steps to the plate, we have a 1-0 Boston lead, and Art Dittmer's shaking his head as Pearsall steps in. Dittmar goes into his windup. Pearsall hoping to duplicate what he just saw from Gernert. And we have another rare play chance. The roll of 3-4-1. Not this time. It's a dribbler to the mound. The pitcher's going to try to retire the batter. Okay. 1 through 4, it is a single. If a roll of 5 or 6, it's an out. And it is not higher, so it's an infield single by Pearsall, who beats out the throw from
No
Dittmar.
outs, man on first.
The runner on, no outs, and Don Budden coming to the plate. Budden batted .239 in 1956. Here in this replay, he's batting .300 with an RBI. He's walked 11 times in 30 plate appearances. He's got a good eye. Can he continue that? Infield halfway in, hoping to turn 2 as Dittmar goes into his windup. Budden looking for something to hit. And it's hit to short. Possible error on DeMaestri. He has a 35, so anything above 35, and it's an error. And it is not, as that roll of 33 just gets under it. He makes the play, and he'll get Pearsall out at second. He'll get to force at second. Budden will be at first.
1 out, man on first.
1 down, runner on first. As Sammy White comes to the plate, batted .245 in 56. Here in this replay, he's batting .303. Sammy White steps in as Budden takes a slight lead off of first. Dittmar gets the signal from Ginsberg, shakes his head, goes into his windup, and the pitch is a line drive hit into center field as he hits it over the bag at second. And a chance for extra bases for Lopez. Anything 3 through 6, and it is a double. And it is. And we're going to test the outfielder's arm, which is a 3, and it could be a triple. 4, 5, or 6, and this is a triple. And it is not. He holds him to a double. And Budding will hold at third.
Men on second and third.
So with 1 out, runners on second and third, and the pitcher Brewer coming to the plate. We will have Brewer. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm playing as the Athletics. I was getting so excited about what the Boston was doing that I forgot I'm playing as the Athletics. We'll bring the infield in. Try to get the runner at the plate. Chances are, though, if it's a hard hit ball, it may get by. But Brewer is probably not going to be swinging for the fences. He singles up the middle. Tom Brewer helps his own cause. Look at that average. He batted .298. And 94 at-bats. Swings a good bat. I was not aware of that. Singles up the middle, and runner on third scores. White goes over to
men on first and third.
So we got runners on the corners. And Brewer helping his own cause as Ditmer is now trailing 2-0. Infield halfway. As Goodman steps to the plate. Ditmer into the windup and the pitch. And he lines it sharply at Power at first base, who takes a step over, stabs it out of the air for out number 2.
2 outs, men on first and third.
No one able to advance on that hard hit ball. That'll bring up Frank Malzone, who grounded out to third his first time up. As Ditmer looking to get out of the inning with no further damage, as he's allowed 2 to come across here in the bottom of the second. Goes into his windup and the pitch. It's hit to second. Jacobs makes the play over to first for the 4-3 putout and out number 3. But not after 2 runs come across. With 2 left on.
Top of the third.
As we go to the third, Boston 2, Kansas City nothing. And the pitcher Ditmer coming to the plate. Look at, might as well just hit away with Ditmer. He's not the hitter Brewer is, batting .143. Here's the pitch from Brewer to his counterpart. And he grounds it back to Brewer, who makes the play, tosses it over to Vernon at first for the 1-3 putout, and out number 1.
1 out, bases empty.
Ditmer goes back to the dugout. Vic Power now stepping to the plate. Grounded out to short his first time up. Brewer pitching well so far as Power steps in. Brewer into his windup and the pitch. It's hit at Vernon at first. Possible error on Vernon with error rating of 34. Good possibility, any 35 or higher, and it is an error. And it is with that roll of 42. So that's going to be an E3.
1 out, men on first.
That'll allow Power to get on first. Infield now at halfway as Hector Lopez comes to the plate. Lopez will be swinging away. Boston halfway for the double play. Here's the pitch from Brewer. Ground ball to second. Second to first, double play in the inning.
And none left on.
4-6-3 double play to end any hopes of anything going for the Athletics in the third inning.
Bottom of the third.
As now we go to the bottom of the third with Boston up 2-0 on the Kansas City Athletics. And that will bring Mickey Vernon back to the plate. Vernon tripled his last time up. Here comes the pitch to Vernon, and he struck him out. Dittmer with the bender struck him out.
One out,
Route
bases
number
empty.
one as Vernon goes back to the dugout. Now bring Jackie Jensen to the plate. Flew out to left field his last time up. Dittmer into the stretch and the delivery. He struck him out. That's 2 in a row this time with the Bree bullet. Cheese.
2 outs, bases empty.
It's going to bring up Dick Gernert, who only home run his last time up. Here's the pitch to Gernert. And he hits a line drive
like that, the
at
inning's over.
Zernial in left field. Zernial takes 2 strides over, makes the play for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. And we go
Top
to
of
the
the
fourth with Boston up 2-0. Gus Zernial stepping to the plate. Zernial singled his last time up. Brewer looking to continue the stellar pitching as he goes into his windup. Zernial hopes to continue to be hitting the ball. He's only hit 4. The Athletics hits it sharply to Budden at short, fires it over to Vernon at first for the 6-3 putout. And out number
1
1.
out, bases empty.
That'll bring up Harry Simpson, who walked his first time up. Here's the pitch from Brewer. Struck him out this time.
2 outs, bases
on the
empty.
Rockford Rocket. Cheese. That'll bring up Jim Finnegan. Finnegan lined out to short his first time up. Brewer toes the rubber, goes into his windup, and the pitch.
Ball 4. Take your base.
And he walks him. Curveball into the dirt. Ball 4. Finnegan safely on first with a 2-out walk.
2 outs, men on
That's
first.
going to bring up Ginsberg. Joe Ginsberg, the catcher. Grounded out to second his first time up. But we're going to re-roll for a column 5 check on Brewer. And it possible pass ball against Sammy White, who has a 3 rating. So anything 3 and under will hold. 4, 5, and 6 will be a pass ball. And it is a pass ball. Gets by Sammy White. And Finnegan moves to second.
2 outs, men on second.
So runner on second, 2 outs in scoring position. With Ginsberg still at the plate. Here's the pitch to Ginsberg. Brewer into his windup. The pitch. And he struck him out.
No runs,
This time.
no hits, and 1 left
With
on.
a silly bender. For out number 3.
Bottom of the fourth.
We go to the bottom of the fourth with the Red Sox still up 2-0 on the Athletics. And Pearsall coming to the plate. Singled his last time up. Dittmar seemed to settle down a little bit after that 2-run second. As Pearsall steps in, Dittmar goes into his windup and his delivery, and the pitch. It's hit to short, possible error on DeMaestri. That rating of 35, good possibility it will be an error, and it will not. That low roll of 14. He makes the play. DeMaestri ranges over, gets the hot worm burning ground ball and fires it over to Power.
1 out, bases empty.
For out number 1. Now bring up Don Budden, who grounded to short his last time up. Ditmar looking to get Budden once again as Budden steps in. Ditmar into his windup. The pitch. It's hit to first. Power gets the ground ball. Takes a couple steps over and steps on the bag for the unassisted put out. The 3 unassisted for out number 2.
2 outs, bases empty.
And let's go bring up Sammy White. Sammy White doubled his last time up. So Ditmar looking to get out of this inning unscathed as Sammy White steps in. Here is the pitch from Ditmar. And it's a line drive to right field. It's a single, but there's a chance for extra bases. 3 and up. It will be a double. And it will be, as it gets past Simpson, who gets it, fires it in, but not before White is standing on second. And we're going to test to see if it is a triple. And Simpson does not have a good arm. Anything above a 2, and it'll be a triple. And it is, as Sammy White gets to third with the pinball going around in the corner, and Simpson just fires it in, but too late as White slides in under the tag for a 2-out triple.
2 outs, men on third.
That's the second triple in the game for the Red Sox. That brings Tom Brewer back to the plate. The almost 300 hitting Tom Brewer. So we'll let him swing away. He's pitching well and he hits well. So Ditmar looking to get his counterpart as he goes into windup and the pitch. And it's hit to short. DeMaestri
No runs, 1
makes
hit,
the play
and 1 left
over
on.
to first for the 6-3 put out. And we leave one stranded on third as we go to the fifth with the Red Sox up 2-0. And Joe DeMaestri coming to the plate. Lined out to short his first time up. Brewer into the windup. And the pitch. And we got a ballpark effect. All right. Anything other than the 1, and this will be a single for DeMaestri. And it will be. Line drive single to center field for a leadoff single by Joe DeMaestri. Can the Athletics get something going here in the 5th? As Spook Jacobs comes to the plate. Flew out the left field his first time up. Boston's infield in at double play depth. Brewer into his windup in the pitch. Jacobs looking for something to hit. It's a looping line drive to left field. But that roll of 1 is well underneath the 3 of Gernert, who makes the catch in left field.
1 out, man on first.
Broke well on the ball and scooped it up off the turf before it hit. Route number 1, and that's going to bring Art Ditmar to the plate. Ditmar actually pitching well. He's allowed 6 hits, but only 2 runs. As he's keeping his team close, so he will continue to be in the game. Or should I go ahead and pull him? Try to get something going here in the 5th. Oh boy, what do I do? What do I do? Let's keep him for one more go around. Here's the pitch to Ditmar from Brewer. And he fouls it out to second base. He fouls it up along the first baseline. Goodman races over and gets it in foul territory for out number 2.
2 outs, man on first.
As DeMaestri still standing on first. Vic Power coming to the plate. Power reached on an error, hit his last time up. As DeMaestri takes a slight lead off first, Tom Brewer goes into his windup, and the delivery. Howard looking to swing away. He lifts a fly ball into center field, short fly ball. Jim Pearsall gets on his bicycle, gets underneath it for out number 3.
Bottom of the 5th.
And one stranded here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Boston still up 2-0. And Billy Goodman coming to the plate. Goodman lined out to first his last time up. Here's the pitch from Ditmar. Grounds it back to the pitcher Ditmar, who fields it, tosses it over to Power at first for the 1-3 put out, and out
one
number
out, bases empty.
That'll bring up Frank Malzone, 0 for 2 on the day, grounded out to third and to second. Has not yet hit it out of the infield. It's Malzone, 0 for 17 on the season with goose eggs. He did get on base with 4 walks. Ditmar into his windup in the pitch. Malzone just looking to get a hit. Grounds it to third. Finnegan up with it over to first. And the woes continue. He's now 0 for 18 is Frank Malzone.
2 outs, bases empty.
That'll bring up Mickey Vernon, who tripled his first time up and struck out. Ditmar 2 up, 2 down. Looking to continue the good pitching since the second. Ditmar into the windup, and he strikes him out.
It's
strikes him out. Parmesan pellet. Mickey Vernon going to the dugout with his head hung low. As we go to the 6th, still 2-0. Boston and Brewer pitching to Jim. So allowed only 2 hits. He struck out 3 and he's walked 2. As Hector Lopez comes to the plate. Lopez grounded into a double play his last time up. Lopez digs in as Brewer goes into his windup, and the pitch. Struck him out for strikeout number 4.
1 out, bases empty.
The bender. Brings up Gus Zernial, who has one of the hits in the game for the Athletics. As Brewer toes the rubber, goes into the windup, and the pitch.
Ball 4. Take your base.
And he walks him. Zernial gets a free pass as he strides down, trots down, saunters down to
1
first.
out, man on first.
And we will check column 5 re-roll. And possible wild pitch. 4, 5, or 6, it'll be a wild pitch. And it is, as Brewer gets a little wild, and that'll move Zernial to second.
1 out,
With 1
man
out,
on
runner
second.
now in scoring position. Tying run at the plate in Simpson, who has some pop to his bat. 21 home runs in 56. Brewer eyes Zernial, goes into his windup. He lifts a fly ball into left field. Gernert settles underneath it for out number 2.
2 outs, man
Zernial
on
will just
second.
have to stand on second and shake his head. Somebody move me around. As Finnegan comes to the plate. Finnegan walked his last time up. As Finnegan digs in. Brewer into his windup, and the pitch. Ground ball to second. Goodman up with
No
it.
runs,
Over to
no
first.
hits, and
With
1
4-3
left on.
put out. And we have a runner left on.
Bottom of the
No
6th.
one coming across as we go to the bottom of the 6th. The Red Sox still up 2-0. Jackie Jensen, 0 for on the day, struck out his last time as Art Dittmer still on the mound and pitching fairly well. Here comes the pitch from Ditmar. Jackie Jensen gets the offering. Another rare play check. Roll 1 die. And it will be a rare play. What do we have going on here? Chopper down the third baseline. The third baseman backhands the ball cleanly, but his throw to first is wide of the mark. So we're going to roll against Vic Power's defensive rating, which is not good. It's a 2. Well, actually, that is pretty good. Only a 1. Will it be an error? And it is the 1. So it's not higher. The throw pulls Power off the bag, and Jensen is safe. And it'll be an E5 on Finnegan.
No outs, men on first.
Defensive rating of 2 is pretty good, but that roll of 1 would have got anybody. And that'll bring up Dick Gernert, who has homered in this game. Infield in halfway, double play depth. As Dittmer goes into his windup. Gernert steps in. Ground ball to third. Over to second, to first for the 5-4-3 double play.
2 outs, bases empty.
So that clears the base pass as Jim Pearsall comes up. Grounded to short his last time up. It's 1 for 2 on the day. Dittmar gives a nod of approval to his infield on that gem of a play with the 5-4-3 double play. As Pearsall steps in, Dittmar goes into his windup and the pitch. Ball hit to second. Spook Jacobs up with it. Grounder. It's going to be a close play at first as Pearsall is motoring down the first base line, and the play, and they get him by a half
runs,
step.
No hits.
He's out at
1
first.
error, and none left on.
For the third out.
Top of the 7th.
And we go to the 7th. Boston 2. The Athletics of Kansas City, nothing. And coming to the plate, Joe Ginsberg. I think I got to start thinking better hitters at the plate. See if I got a better lefty. First, let me make sure I got a catcher. Yeah, I got Astroth and Thompson. Let's bring Enos Slaughter in to pinch hit for Ginsberg. At a 281 in 56. Slaughter steps in. Brewer stares him down, goes into his windup and said, "I'm not scared of you, Enos." And he pops him up to third.
One out, bases empty.
So that's a pop up to third base from Slaughter as Joe DeMaestri now comes to the plate. DeMaestri singled his last time up. Brewer looking to bear down on Joe as Brewer goes into his windup. DeMaestri steps in looking to get a rally going here, but he hits it sharply to Vernon. Ground ball to first. Vernon stabs it off the ground and makes the play, takes a few steps on the bag himself for the 3 unassisted. And out number 2.
2 outs, bases empty.
That'll bring Spook Jacobs to the plate. And what to do. Probably should have pinch hitted for DeMaestri, but he's a little better hitter than Spook here. We're going to be bringing in a pinch. No, we'll run out of pinch hitters. Let's go ahead and let Jacobs swing away. Here's the pitch to Jacobs. Hope to get something going here. And he singles up the middle. Jacobs gets the job done as it's a 2-out single by Spook Jacobs. And that's going to bring Dittmar up, and that's going to be all for Dittmar. He will not see anymore. We need some offense going here. They're going to look to try to steal with Jacobs. And he steals the base. Spook Jacobs. What a gamble there.
2 outs, man on second.
Stealing with 2 outs. Down 2 runs in the 7th. And that's going to be all for Dittmar. As we can see, we bring in the left-hand hitting Thompson, who's going to be coming in to catch anyhow. Tim Thompson batted .272 in 56 with 268 plate appearances. He's batted .500, but he's only been at bat twice so far in the season. Thompson steps in. Brewer with the runner on second. Tying run at the plate. Here is the pitch. And it's a triple pass. Pearsall in center field as Thompson comes in and hits a run scoring triple, RBI scoring triple for Tim Thompson. And now it is a 2-1 game here in the 7th inning.
Man on third.
Timely hitting by Tim Thompson as Brewer allows a run to cross as Vic Power strides to the plate with a runner 90 feet away from tying this game up. And Power, with 14 home runs, can put them in the lead with a swing of the bat. Brewer gets the signal, goes in to wind up the pitch, and we got a ballpark effect, and it looks like we may have a tie game, anything other than a 1, and we have a tie game. And it is a single to center field. Thompson comes across, and we are tied up 2-2 here in the 7th.
2 outs, men on first.
2-2 as Brewer has given up the lead that he had, and Hector Lopez coming to the plate. 2 outs, runner on first. Can Brewer stem the tide here? Man on first. Here is the pitch, and he walks him, so we now have runners on first and second.
2 outs, men on
and
first
Brewer
and
just
second.
looking now to get out of the inning without any further damage. Zernio comes to the plate. Reached on a base on balls his last time up. Brewer shakes off a couple signs from White. Finally come in agreement. Here is the pitch. And he hits him. And he is loaded the bases with a walk and a hit batter. And Brewer is falling apart here in the 7th with the bases loaded and Simpson coming to the plate. The .293 average and 21 home runs. Brewer takes a big deep breath, goes into his windup, bears down on Simpson, and it's hit to Goodman, and Goodman up with it over the first.
2 runs, 3 hits,
to end the inning,
3 left
but
on.
not before 2 runs come across, and we are
Bottom of the
tied at
7th.
2-2 going to the bottom of the 7th. I got some players to replace. I got a first. Let's replace my catcher, which will be Thompson, if I'm correct. Thompson's not available. I guess it'll be Castro. need a new pitcher. Facing a bunch of righties, so we'll bring in a right-hander. Tom Gorman will come in. Pitch here in the bottom of the 7th. Gorman with 3 saves, a 9-10 record, and a 3.83 ERA. Comes in here in the bottom of the 7th with the score tied 2-2. Don Budden at the plate. Who's 0 for on the day? Budden steps in. Gorman gets the signal from Astroth, and he hits it sharply back at Gorman, who makes the play. Fires it over to Power at first for the 1-3 put out.
Bases empty.
Number 1. Sammy White coming to the plate. All White has done today is doubled and tripled. So Gorman's wanting to be careful with White, who's having a hot bat on this May 2nd day in 1956. Here comes the pitch from Gorman as White steps in. It looks to continue. It's a dribbler to the catcher. Astroth fields it, fires it to first for the 1-3 put out. 2-3 put out.
2 outs,
Out number
bases
2.
empty.
A little nubber in front of the plate. That brings up Tom Brewer. Tom Brewer's swings such a good bat, you don't want to bring him in it. You don't want to pull him. He has allowed 5 hits and 2 runs. It seems to be fatiguing, but we'll keep him in. Let's see if his bat can continue. Here's the pitch to Brewer. So pops him up to second base.
1-2-3.
Spook Jacobs underneath it. 3 up and 3 down for Gorman.
Top of the 8th.
Here in the 7th. And we go to the 8th. Tied up 2-2. And Brewer still on the mound. Not yet fatigued, but he's getting close as Finnegan steps in. 0 for on the day. Grounded out to second his first time up. And here is the pitch. Deep fly ball into left field. Dick Garner settles underneath it for out number 1.
1 out, bases empty.
The F7 put out. That'll bring up Joe Astroth. Not exactly a hot bat, but had to have somebody come in. He pops him up to second base.
2 outs,
For out
bases
number
empty.
2. And that'll bring up Joe DeMaestri, who grounded out to first his first time up, his last time up, as Brewer looks to have a 3 up and 3 down 8th. As DeMaestri steps in and hits a fly
And
ball
just like
into
that,
center
the inning's
field.
over.
Pearsall settles underneath it. 3 up and 3 down here in the 8th for Brewer.
Bottom
We go
of
to the bottom of the 8th. Knotted up 2-2 here in Boston, Fenway Park. And Billy Goodman is stepping to the plate. Gorman gets the signals from Astroth and goes into his windup, and the pitch. It's hit to second. Spook Jacobs scoops it up, fires it over to first to Vic Power for the 4-3 put out, and out
1 out,
number 1.
bases empty.
And that brings up Frank Malzone, the O forever Frank Malzone. And as he steps in, Pinky Higgins says, how about you have a seat? Let's bring in someone with a little better bat. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not managing Boston. Now, Pinky, why in this situation would you allow an over 18 hitter to go to the plate? Let's see if he pulls him. And he does not. Malzone will swing away, and he grounds out to third, over to first for the 5-3 putout. And Frank Malzone is now 0 for 19.
2 outs, bases empty.
I would have yanked him. So let's get somebody in it who has a little bit of confidence with the plate. Mickey Vernon has struck out his last 2 times up, but he did triple his first time up. Can he do that again? As Gorman, pitching well since he came in, goes into his windup and the pitch and the delivery. And he hits him. He plunks Vernon in the shoulder as Vernon grimaces, trots down to first base.
2 outs, man on first.
With 2 outs. And Jackie Jensen coming to the plate. You'd have to think Jackie Jensen is due. He has not had a hit today. He did reach on an error his last time up. As Gorman stares down Jensen, he goes into the windup and the pitch. Vernon running on contact, and he walks Jensen. Didn't want to give him anything good to hit, so he allows now 2 runners on.
2 outs, men on first and second.
Dick Gernert homered his first time up, but ground into a double play his last time up. So it's feast or famine for Gernert as Gorman stares down Gernert, goes into his windup. Gernert grins back and goes into his swing, and he hits it to the shortstop.
No runs.
He fires
no
it over to
hits,
first for the
and 2 left
6-3
on.
putout. And
Top of the 9th.
out number 3. With 2 left stranded. We go to the 9th. Tied up 2-2. And Tom Brewer still on the mound for the Red Sox. And Spook Jacobs steps in. Singled his last time up. Here's the pitch to Jacobs. And he lines it to left field for out number 1.
1 out, bases empty.
That brings up Gorman, who will have a seat even though he's pitching well. He does not hit well, and we need runs. Left-hander, I can only have 1 left-hander, and that's Ballo. I think I'd rather bring in someone who swings the bat a little bit better. Let's bring in Melton, even though he's a righty. I think I like his chances better. Dave Melton to the plate as Brewer looking to close out this game and give his team a chance to win. He pops him up to second as Melton just gets underneath it, lifts a high pop-up, and out number
2 outs,
2.
bases empty.
That'll bring up Vic Power. Power singled his last time up. 1 for 3 on the day. Power steps in. Brewer into his windup and the pitch. And it's a short fly ball into center field. Pearsall has to get on his motorcycle and get underneath it as he scoops it off the turf for out number 3. 3 up and 3 down.
Bottom of the 9th.
We go to the bottom of the 9th, and I need a pitcher for the Athletics to face a bunch of righties. I need another right-hander to come in and close this thing out. I'm going to bring Tommy Lasorda in with that 6.15. He's a lefty. Let's bring in Mo Birchie, who had a 3.95 ERA with 3-1 record in 56. So here we are, bottom of the 9th, tied up 2-2. And we got Jim Pearsall coming to the plate. Batted .293 and 56, but so far in this season, he's batting at the Mendoza line. Can Pearsall get something done here as he faces Mo Birchie into his windup and the delivery. Pearsall looking to get something going here. And he hits it to short. DeMaestri up with it over to first for the 6-3 put out, and out number one.
One out, base is empty.
Don Budden now coming to the plate. Batting .239 in the season, but .273 in this replay. Should I bring in a left-handed hitter? Oh, I'm not playing for Boston, so I keep forgetting that. We're just going to bring the pitch as Bertsky goes into the windup. And it's a single or a home run. Oh boy. Look at that. It's 1 through 6 is a home run. We are going to have a walk-off by Don Budden here in the bottom of the ninth. Tied 2-2, and Budden takes one. It's over the monster for the home run. As he deposits it over the monster for a 3-2 Red Sox walk-off home run win here in Fenway. Tom Brewer pitched a good game. He goes to 3-0. Mo Bertsky took the loss, but it was Don Budden who was heroics. Won that one. Let's go ahead and autoplay the day and see how it plays out. Let's just look at it. Brooklyn Dodgers having a woeful season so far. They're 3-10, lose 3-2 to Cincinnati, who are at 8-5. Detroit against the Yankees, who are 4-9. Detroit win 10-5. Of course, our game here in Fenway, Boston wins a walk-off 3-2 win in the ninth. Then the Mets against the Cubs, a 5-4 game there. And then in Sportsman Field in St. Louis, it's a 5-3 Pittsburgh win. Pittsburgh goes to 9-4. Let's look at the replay daily. Today in baseball, Ray Boone was seen double on Wednesday as he knocked the ball all over Yankee Stadium for 3 doubles. His efforts propelled Detroit to the 10-5 victory over New York. The play of the day took place in the game between New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field on Wednesday. Bottom of the ninth, Chicago batting, men on first and third, 2 out, trailing 4-3. Hobie Landreth hits a game-winning double. So I guess Landreth's game-winning double was better than the home run that won it for the Red Sox. And the game of the day. The game of the day, as voted by the fans, was played at Wrigley Field in an exciting National League game as the Cubs overcame the Giants 5-4. And let's take a quick look at the standings in the American League. You have the Red Sox on top, 9-2, a half game up on Cleveland, with Kansas City in dead last at 2-9. Then in the National League, you have Milwaukee on top, 6-2, half game up, but Pittsburgh is at 9-4. And Cincinnati at 8-5, just a game back. So that is what we're looking at with PC replay so far in this 56 replay. I hope you enjoyed that game, an exciting game that went down to the end that saw the Red Sox win 3-2 on a walk-off home run by Don Budden. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great day. Soli Deo Gloria.